Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ekta Bhushan, teaching anatomy and physiology of exercise at Indira Gandhi Institute of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, University of Delhi. I welcome you all to online lectures of CEC UGC. In this series, we will discuss different topics associated with anatomy and physiology of exercise. But today in particular, we will discuss the topic sensory organs that are eye and ears. The importance of one's eye and ears need not to be specified. Eyes are not called the windows to the world for nothing, and music can never be explained to a person who has never heard it. For all these and more, your eyes and ears are essential to life. Sight and sound are two of the most beautiful senses we possess. For this reason, it is quite important to comprehend the structure of eye and ear accompanied by their functions. The structure of eye is an important topic to understand as it is one of the most important sensory organs in the human body. It is mainly responsible for vision, differentiation of colors. The human eye can differentiate approximately 10 to 12 million colors and maintaining the biological clock of the human body. The human eye can be compared to a camera as both works by gathering, focusing and transmitting the light through the lens for creating an image of an object. So let's see the structure of the eye. You can see in this picture also the structure of eye, where we can see the cornea, conjunctiva, retina, optical nerves, lenses also, and Meibomian oil glands and conjunctiva. So this is the internal and general structure of an eye. The structure of eye comprises three coats, within which further three transparent structures. The outermost layer of the fibrous tunic consists of the cornea and the sclera. In the middle layer, we have the vascular tuning of uvea consisting of the choroid ciliary body and the iris. Moving further on, the innermost layer of the retina. It receives its circulation from the vessels of the choroid and also from the retinal vessels. Within these coats lie the flexible lens, aqueous humor and the vitreous body. The working of the eye can be understood in a few lines. An elementary idea, of course, the vision begins when the light is reflected off a surface and enters the eye through the cornea, which refract the rays through the pupil. The light rays then pass through the lens, which changes shape, bending the rays further and finally focusing into the retina. Contrary to popular belief, the eyes are not perfectly spherical. Instead, it is made up of two separate segments focused together. To understand more in detail about our eyes and how our eye functions, we need to look into the structure of the human eye. So let's see the structure, the external eye anatomy. In this picture also we can see the pupil, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, and this is all the external structure of an eye. So the parts of that visible externally included the following, that is sclera. It is white visible portion It is made up of dense connective tissues and protect the inner parts. Then conjunctiva, it lines the sclera and it is made up of stratified squamous epithelium. It keeps our eyes moist and clear, provides lubrication by secreting mucus and tears. Then cornea, it is the transparent interior or front part of the eye which covers the pupil and the iris. The main function is to refract the light along with the lens. Then iris, it is the pigmented colored portion of the eye visible externally. The main function of the iris is to control the diameter of the pupil according to the light sources. Then comes the pupil. It is the small aperture located in the center of the iris. It allows the light to enter and focus on the retina. Now, we can see the internal structure of the eye. In this picture, we can see the ciliary body, the combs, iris, lens, ciliary body and retina, the optical nerves and the vitreous humor. So, the part of the eye that are visible internally include the following. First is the lens. It is a transparent bioconvex lens of an eye. The lens is attached to the ciliary body of ligaments. The lens along with the cornea refract light so that it focuses on the retina. Then retina, it is the innermost layer of the eye. It is light sensitive and act as a film of a camera. 3 layers of natural cells are present in them. They are ganglion, bipolar and photoreceptor cells. It converts the image into electrical nerves impulses for the visual perception by the brain. Then optical nerves, it is located at the posterior portion of the eye. The optical nerves carry all the nerves impulses from the retina to the human brain for perception. Then aqueous humor, it is a watery fluid present between the cornea and the lens. It nourishes the eye and keeps it inflated. Then vitreous humor, it is a transparent jelly-like substance present between the lenses and the retina. It contains 99% water, collagen, protein, etc. The main function of vitreous humor is to protect the eyes and maintain its spherical shape. Now, there are certain muscles control of the eyes. We can see in the picture the muscles associated with the human eyes which hold the eye to the body. So, there are 3 types of movements associated with the eyes that are due to the action of muscles. They are the movement of the eye, the change in the size of the pupil and the change in thickness of the lens. The movement of the eye is controlled by 6 eye muscles that attach the sclera to the bones and inning the optical cavity. These 6 muscles are superior and inferior rectus, internal and external rectus and superior and inferior oblique muscles. Then there is a lacrimal gland, which you can see in the picture. It is between the eyebrows and the eyes laterally. They are also called the tear glands as they produce secretion called tears. The lacrimal gland are present one on the outer upper border of each eye. The lacrimal secretion is watery, alkaline and carries out the following functions that are clean the eyes, keep the eyes moist, keep the eyes free of bacteria as it contains bacteriolytic lysosomes and provides nutrition to the cornea. Now let's focus on the mechanism of sight. In the mechanism, the light rays from the object pass through the conjunctiva, cornea, aqueous humor, lens and vitreous humor. In that order, all these structures refract the light such that it falls on the retina. It is called focusing. Maximum focusing is done by the cornea and the lens. The light then falls onto the retina. From the bodies that are placed before our eyes, rays of light are reflected to the eyes. These rays cross the cornea and enter the lens through the pupil. They passes the lens as well as it till they are reflected on the yellow spot at the rear of the eyeball on the surface of the retina. In this manner, their image, which is reflected and reduced in size, falls on the sensitive cortical cells of the yellow spot. These cells convey the image through optical nerves to the center of the sight in the brain. The soul of the self of men in this way is able to see object through this process and reactions, and it can become aware of the color, volume and distance of those objects. You can see the mechanism of sight in this picture. So light reflects to the cornea, then aqueous humor, then pupil, then it comes to the lens, then vitreous humor, then retina, then optical nerves. Through optical nerves it goes to the brain and message goes to the brain that this kind of image has become. So now let's start the ears. So ears are one of the 5 sensory organs of our body. Other than hearing, the main function is to maintain the balance of the body. The hair cells present in the inner ear of mammals helps in sensing the position of the body in accordance with gravity and maintain the equilibrium. So, we can see the structure of the ear, which comprises 3 main sections: the outer ear, middle ear and the inner ear. Let's learn in detail about the structure and functions of each of these sections. Let's see the structure of the ear. In this picture, you can see the outer ear, middle ear and the inner ear also. The outer ear, you can see the pinea, then the ear canal, then we in the middle ear we have 3 bones also of the ears, that is malleus, inus and the staples, then the inner ear, then cochlea, then osseous tube. So the structure of the ear can be broken down into 3 parts: the outer, inner and the middle one. So the outer ear consists of the auricle or pinna, which happens to be the visible portion. It channels the sounds waves into the ear canal, where it gets amplified, from where the waves travels down to the membrane that vibrates. In the middle ear, the vibration sets the ossicle into motion. These sound waves enter the inner ear and then into the cochlea, filled with the fluid that moves with the vibrations. Further, the nerves are set into the motion, which becomes electrical impulses and travels to the brain, where it is interpreted. So let's see the parts of the outer ear, and we'll start with the pinna. So the pinna is the outermost part of the ear. It has very fine hair and glands. The gland secretes wax. It protects foreign organisms and dust from the entering. Then external auditory canal or meatus is connected to pinna at the outer side of the extends till the lymphatic membrane or the eardrum. They also have wax glands. Then tympanic membrane or eardrum, it made up of connective tissue. Skin covers the outer portion and from inside it is covered by mucous membrane. So pinna receives the sound in the form of vibration. The sound waves reach and vibrate the eardrum through the external auditory canal. Now let's come to the middle ear. It contains the chain of 3 tiny bones, Malleus, Incus and Stapes, present in the smaller same order. You can see in the picture as well the 3 very small bones. The Malleus is a hammer shaped bone attached the tympanic membrane. Then the Incus is the anvil shaped bone present between the Malleus and Stapes. Then Stapes is the smallest bone of the body. It is stirrup shaped and attached to the oval window of the cochlea. Then the osseous tube, it is connected between the middle ear and the pharynx. It equalizes pressure between the middle ear and the outer atmosphere. Now we have come to the inner ear. This is the structure of inner ear. The inner ear is called the labyrinth. It is composed of a group of interconnected canal and sacs. The membranous labyrinth is present inside the bony labyrinth and surrounded by a fluid known as perilymph. The endolymph is filled within the membranous labyrinth. Auditory receptors are located in the cochlea and vestibular apparatus maintains by the body balance. Now the physiology of ears. The ear performs 2 main functions, hearing and equilibrium maintenance. The organs of corti, that is cochlea, is responsible for hearing function. Then maculae are responsible for static equilibrium. Then cristae are responsible for dynamic equilibrium. The 2 main functions of ears are hearing and maintaining equilibrium. So mechanism of hearing, when we see the pinna receives the sound waves and it reaches the tympanic membrane through the meatus. The eardrum vibrates and these vibrations get transmitted to the 3 ossicles present in the middle ear. We are talking about the bones. The Malleus, Incus and Stapes amplify the sound waves. These vibrations then reaches the perilymph through the oval window. Then the pressure waves get transformed to the endolymph of scala media and reach basilar membrane and then to the perilymph of scala tympani. This movement of fluid is facilitated by the round window present at the end of the scala tympani. The basilar membrane movement causes rubbing of stereocilia against the tectorial membrane. The stereocilia are bent, resulting in the opening of the ion channels in the plasma membrane of the hair cells. Glutamate, a neurotransmitter, is released due to calcium ions movements inside the cells. These neurotransmitters bind to the receptors of efferent neurons, which synapse with the hair cells, causing the depolarization of neurons. A nerve impulses is generated and transmitted to the auditory cortex of the brain through the auditory nerve. The brain analyzes the impulses and we hear the sound. So the brain not only recognizes the sound but also judges the direction, loudness and pitch of the sound. So this is the summary which I have just explained. This is the summary, the process of hearing below in the sequence of the events which I have just explained. These are the process, the sound waves, then the eardrums. So then in the last it goes to the brain and brain analyzes the voices in different manners. Now the second function of ear is maintaining the equilibrium. So the semicircular canals, utricles and saccule of membranous labyrinth are the structures of equilibrium. Whenever the animal gets tilted or displaced, the hair cells or of the cristae and musculi are stimulated by the movements of the endolymph or otolith. So the stimulus is carried to the brain through the auditory nerves and the change of the position is detected by the medulla oblongata of the brain. After that, the brain sends the impulses or messages to the muscles to regain the normal conditions. Now I have selected some exercises which can improve your eyesight and hearing also. So let's look into that. So the first method to improve your eyesight is, you can see in the picture as well, hold a pencil at an arm's length and focus on it. Slowly bring it closer to your nose and move it further from your vision until you can no longer keep it in a focus. Then repeat this exercise 10 times a day. Then there is a second method. Then roll your eyes in clockwise direction for a few seconds. Then roll them counterclockwise for few seconds. Repeat that 4 or 5 times. Blink your eyes in between each set. Then try eyelids fluttering by blinking eyes 20 to 30 times rapidly and repeatedly. Close your eyes and let them rest. Do not do this twice daily. And you can also try palming. So for palming, rub your palms like this together to generate heat and then gently cup your palms over your closed eyes like this without applying pressure on the eyes. Make sure to cover your eyes completely so there is no trace of light. Do this several times daily while visualizing the pleasant scene. Now I have selected some 6 gentle yoga exercise for better hearing also. So in this picture you can see the head rotation exercise, then neck upward and extension, flexion and extension, then legs up the wall, then downward dog position, the cobra pose, and the tree pose. So these six exercises are very useful as far as your hearing is concerned. By doing any kind of exercise and yoga exercise, you can improve your sight as well as your hearing also. So thankfully there are yoga exercises that help with your hearing too. The main goal of these exercises is to increase circulation in your ear and your brain. Since increased circulation helps improve nerve functions and remove waste and toxins. Yoga poses that helps with circulation include tree, lotus, cobra and triangle poses. So we have come to the conclusion. So the main part of the human eye are the cornea, iris, pupil, aqueous humor, lens, vitreous humor, retina and optic nerve. Then light enters the eye by passing through the transparent cornea and aqueous humor. The iris control the size of the pupil, which is the opening that allows light to enter the lens. Light is focused by the lens and goes through the vitreous humor to the retina. Rods and cones in the retina translate the light into an electrical signal that travels from the optic nerve to the brain. Ear is divided into three parts: external ear, middle ear and internal ear. The function of the eye and ear need not to be mentioned. Nevertheless, apart from the obvious ones being eyesight and hearing, they are responsible for various other activities. In fact, the ear is also responsible for maintaining your equilibrium or balance. So, I hope you understood both sensory organs, that are eye and ear, in detail, the structure and function and how to improve sight and hearing. That's all for today. See you next time. Thank you.